So, as I was thinking of a joke for the intro this week, as you all know, every week I do a nice little funny intro at the beginning. I had a joke that someone told me a year ago. They told it to me, I thought it was funny, whatever, and I kept it. I kept that joke. And then I was going to use it this year, but probably not very fair if you guys know what I'm getting at here. So what's going on, you front left tires at Silverstone 2020? Hope you're all doing well wherever you are in the world. Happy to have you here on the channel. And now I know last week was a bit of a ranty style video. We got pretty heated pretty quickly. So this year, let's just cool down, relax, and look at some of the sponsors in F1 that sponsor different teams. If you guys don't know, if you're new to Formula One, each team has their own sponsors that they sign. So the sponsor has a certain expectation for that team. They pay the team a certain amount of money to get their logo on the car. And some logos are good. Some of them I like and they look good on the cars, and some of them not a huge fan of. So I'm going to be going through today, giving you guys an idea of some of my most favorite logos on F1 cars in 2020, and some of my least. Let's get into it. So kicking things off, we're going to stay positive and look at one of my favorite logos first, and it's coming from a team who has a really just good looking car overall, but I'm going to be going with the Williams car, and specifically the Sofina Foods brand. Now, if you guys don't know, Sofina Foods is a Canadian company that is dedicated to providing great tasting, high quality food products for retail and food service. Now, I can say, living in Canada, I've tried some of their brands that they have under Sofina. The Jane's chicken strips are just perfect, so keep doing that, guys. But I really like this logo. I like long style logos. I know it's basically just writing, but the big thing about this is I know it's not the most sexy topic in the world, but fonts are a big thing for me. So a lot of modern graphic design uses sans serif fonts, and a serif is basically the little tail on the end of each letter. So lots of modern graphic design uses sans serif, but this is a serif style font, and you got the little tails on the S's and the I and the F, and it looks kind of retro and really good, and I think it fits really well on the side of that Williams, and yeah, it looks different, and everyone else is doing all these sans serifs, so I'm into it, Williams. Now for this next one, I'm not sure if it's technically a sponsor or if it's the team name. I don't know what it actually falls under, but regardless, it is a brand that exists outside of Formula One that doesn't have anything to do with motorsport. It is the Red Bull car and the Red Bull sponsorship on the side of the car. I love the Red Bull sponsor. The logo looks so good on the car, and the way they implement it looks really nice. It's, again, a very long style logo. You guys, you gotta know this by now. I like the longer style logos. They just look good, and the Red Bull really makes it pop, really. And with the way the colors with the yellow and the red, it just contrasts really nicely on the dark navy blue. And yeah, it's a solid looking logo. And honestly, this livery, 20, 30 years down the line, if Red Bull doesn't exist anymore, it's going to be on the level of icon with, the Williams, the 80s McLarens and all those cars. It's going to be so iconic. Now, just a quick disclaimer, I'm not endorsing any of these companies, any of these brands. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't buy their products. All I'm saying is some of them have really nice logo designs. Now, with that being said, moving on to our next sponsorship in Formula One, we're going to be going to the McLaren team, specifically the Velo sponsorship. Now, Velo is under the umbrella of British American Tobacco, so you see why I put that disclaimer out there. But basically, McLaren has a couple brands under the BAT umbrella sponsoring them this year. But Velo, in terms of the few that are out there, is my favorite of the three. Now, I do think it's a bit overused on the car. I think if they just had the one on the side pod, it would look really nice. Now, again, a nice long style logo, no big curves or anything like that. And I really like the font they chose. Again, it's a sans serif font, but it's a nice, bold look, and the arrow, the chevrons pointing towards the way the car is going, they're pointing in the direction it's going, makes it look like it's going super fast on the track. And I just love the very bold look of this logo. Now, again, it's not a good thing. They sell chewing stuff with nicotine and no tobacco, so it's still addicting. So don't use it, but they have a nice logo. Okay? I think we're good. Let's move on to the next one. It's a lot easier to talk about because it's more consumed, but just let's move on. All right, so now moving on to another one of my favorite logos on the grid. We're looking at an actual partnership between team and brand. Now, it's very common in Formula One. It's actually extremely common that the services that the brand sponsoring the team provides, they actually give those services to the team. It's very common in Formula One, but in this case, we're going to be looking at Castrol Edge and Renault. Now, Castrol Edge is an engine lubricants company, so they make the engine run really nice, and obviously that's a good partnership in Formula One because you got to go fast. The engine's got to work well. So I love the way that this logo integrates to the livery of the car. The livery designer did a very good job. The way that the yellow from the front flows into a line on the back, and the Castrol Edge is like the same height of that line, and it kind of blends into it really nicely. You almost don't even notice that there's a logo there, and it fits so nicely. And when a logo fits into a livery of a car, and it just works so nicely, I really do enjoy that. And yeah, this case, Castrol Edge, you're a good looking logo. And now for the last one of my favorite sponsorships in Formula One. This is a partnership that at first I wasn't a huge fan of because I didn't love the way it looked on the car, but it's actually going to be Ineos face. No, that's definitely not it. But regardless, the big problem I had with this logo was the color of it. It's kind of like a burgundy red-ish color. On the old silver Mercedes, it didn't look that good, to be honest with you. But then when they switched, for very good reason, to the Black Panther, the black Mercedes, the red and the black and the teal, it is such a good color palette. And from the beginning, I've kind of loved how the way the Ineos brand at the top, where the engine air intake is, I've always loved the way it kind of melds out from that. It looks like it's being like ripped off from the car as it's going forward. And like I said with the Castrol Edge on the Renault, it really works into the car really nicely. And in this case as well, the way it looks like it's being ripped off, it's a very nice, subtle sponsorship, especially with all the little bits of red around the wings too. It looks really nice, and yeah, honestly, with the black, looks much better. So the positive part of the video is done, and now it's time to get into the fun part where we're going to get to rip into some really ugly looking logos. And to kick things off with that, we're going to be looking at Haas F1 team. Now, in general, I think I placed it pretty fairly in my livery rankings video that I will link in the card up above. But the livery is fine. I don't mind it. It looks nice. The Haas font looks really good. I like how it's italicized going towards the way the car is going. But the peak logo on the end plate of the rear wing, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's been there since the inception of Haas F1, but it just looks really bad. On a red, white, and black car, the blue in the mountains just really takes away from it. If you remove this logo from the livery, the car looks immeasurably better. And that's going to be true for a lot of the cars on this list, but yeah, it's just not good. And they make automotive, chemical, and agricultural stuff. I don't care what you make. Also, why is it a mountain then? But regardless, just take it off the car. They must be paying you guys lots of money though, so I guess you gotta get your money where it comes from. And now we're moving on to a team that already has a livery that I don't like the look of to begin with, and then this sponsorship just really drags it into the dirt. We're going to be looking at the Racing Point car, specifically the JCB logo, again on that end plate of the rear wing, and also like a million times on the cockpit cam of the Halo. Really bad, but regardless, they make manufacturer of equipment for construction, agricultural, waste handling, and demolition. When you've demolished the look of this car with the fact that you have yellow on a pink car. Hey? No. Stop. Back up. Get off that car, because the yellow looks absolutely disgusting on this car. I don't even think I have to explain this whatsoever. I think you guys can look at this car and know that this looks bad, and this car would look much better without JCB on it. So why don't you get yourself a bulldozer, pick yourself up, and move along. Bye. And now moving on to another team that I've already rated pretty low on my livery scale already. It's the Ferrari. It's the red car with some sponsorships on it and nothing more. And the specific sponsorship, the specific logo I'm looking at to take off of this car is UPS. Because why are we putting brown on red? That is not a color that should go with a color. That is bad, and it should stop. So UPS, either let them change your color of your logo, or just leave the car, or just go put it on the floor or something. Because I know you guys provide a lot of logistics and stuff and all that, but if you put it on the floor, maybe Seb will spin around and literally spin around upside down, and then you'll see the logo on the bottom, and you'll be all good and fine. Yeah, I just doesn't look good. All right, and now it's time for the first double entry on this list. Yes, the logo I'm about to talk about was also featured on the same car that had one of my favorite logos, if that makes any sense. But it's the Roush logo on the Red Bull car, specifically not the Red Bull car itself, but the actual race suits. It's on it a lot. Like, it's plastered all over the race suit. And yes, the color scheme fits in fine. It's got the right colors, but I don't know. It just mirrors just an ugly looking logo. It just, with the sleek look of the Red Bull car and the overalls and stuff, it's just kind of seems outdated and not very modern. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this one whatsoever. But they make juices that I've never tried because I don't live in Europe. But any of you out there who've had Roush juices, let me know if they're good, I guess, because they must be if they're on the Red Bull car. All right, and now to finish this list off, we have yet another double entrant. We are going to be looking at the Renault car once again. Now, this one logo, if removed from the car, would make this thing look absolutely perfect. It is the RCI Bank logo. Yes, Renault has its own bank because, you know, that's the reason they're still in F1. And from what I'm seeing here, RCI stands for Reasons Cyril is Still Employed. So that's their website. Don't quote me. That is their website. That is what it says. But for the logo itself, I'm one that doesn't like circular logos. You guys know I like long flowing style logos because that's the way air would flow around them in real life. That's just physics. So whenever I see a circular logo on a car, it really puts me off and really just doesn't look nice at all. And if I take this logo off the car, it looks much, much better. But that is probably one of my least favorite logos in the sport. All right, so there it is. There are my most and least favorite logos on the F1 grid. Now, if there's any I missed or there's any that you disagree with or think are better than they actually are, please let me know in the comments down below. I answer the comments quite frequently. I like to have some discussions with you guys down there, and feel free, if you like the video, click the stamp, send that subscribe button down below, and drop a like if you really liked it. That's why it's a like button. And yeah, don't miss the apex. Peace.